1905 Dutch soccer club ADO Den Haag forms in The Hague. ADO represents the amateur branch of the club. In 1913, American all-round athlete Jim Thorpe signs to play baseball with the NY Giants. Unlike his other sporting endeavors, the Olympic medal winner's career in MLB was uninspiring. 1913-19. In 1914, Chicago White Sox and New York Giants play a 10-inning, 3-3 tie in Cairo, Egypt in an exhibition MLB game, part of special 56-game World Tour. In 1919, Brooklyn Robins trade former National League MVP Dick Dorbert to Cincinnati Reds for outfielder Tommy Griffith, result of a salary grievance. Bradman is 299 not out. 1930, two Australian cricket's master batsman Don Bradman scores 299 not out in 10-wicket fourth test win vs South Africa in Adelaide. Runs out of partners going for 300. In 1948, Finland goes 1-2 in the Nordic combined event at the St. Moritz Winter Olympics. Heikki Hasu takes gold ahead of teammate Martti Huhtala. In 1948, Johnny Palmer sets a 36-hole PGA Tour scoring record with rounds of 62-64 in the Tucson Open, finishes runner-up by one stroke to Skip Alexander, who cards tournament record total 264. Curly Lambeau Resigns. 1950 Green Bay Packers founder, player, and coach Curly Lambeau resigns after 31 seasons and 6 NFL titles to his credit. In 1954 Australian Championships men's tennis, Mervyn Rose wins his first Grand Slam title, beats fellow Australian Rex Hartwig 6-2, 0-6, 6-4, 6-2. In 1954 Australian Championships women's tennis, in an All-Australian final Thelma Coyne Long beats Jenny Staley 6-3, 6-4 for the second of her 2 Australian singles titles. In 1954 Dutch soccer club De Graafschap at the county forms in Doetinchem, Netherlands. In 1955 Hap Day becomes the first man to serve as Toronto Maple Leafs captain, coach, and general manager when he is appointed to run the famous Canadian NHL club. In 1956 Hayes Alan Jenkins leads only US sweep of Olympic men's figure skating medals at the Cortina d'Ampezzo Winter Games. Ronald Robertson wins silver with bronze to Jenkins' younger brother, David. In 1958 Manchester United beats Arsenal 5-4 at Highbury in the team's last game on British soil, 5 days prior to the plane crash at Munich airport that killed 7 players. In 1958 Tommy Taylor scores 2 goals and Duncan Edwards 1 in Manchester United's 5-4 win vs Arsenal at Highbury. Paramount's 7 players killed 5 days later when teams charter plane crashes at Munich airport. In 1959 outfielder Zack Wheat, a Brooklyn Robins favourite of the 1910s and 1920s, is elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Wheat hit .317 over 19-year career and batted .300 or better 14 times. In 1959 Senior PGA Championship, PGA National GC, Willie Goggin, using a borrowed set of woods, wins by 1 stroke ahead of Leland Gibson, Runyan and Denny Shute. In 1960 Australian Championships men's tennis, in a classic All-Australian final Rod Laver beats Neale Fraser 5-7, 3-6, 6-3, 8-6, 8-6, Laver's first Grand Slam title. In 1960 Australian Championships women's tennis, Margaret Smith wins first of 11 Australian singles titles, beats fellow Australian Jan Lehane 7-5, 6-2. In 1961 Australian cricket tailenders Ken Mackay 62-0 and Lindsay Kline 15-0 hang on for 100 minutes to earn a famous draw on the final day vs West Indies in 4th Test in Adelaide. In 1962 MLB's National League releases its first 162-game schedule due to expansion 18 games between opponents. In 1964 French sisters Christine Goichel-Gold and Marie-Elle Goichel-Silver become first female siblings to win Olympic gold and silver in the same event when they dominate the slalom in Innsbruck. In 1965 Australian Championship men's tennis, Roy Emerson wins 3rd consecutive Australian title, beats fellow Australian Fred Stowe 7-9, 2-6, 6-4, 7-5, 6-1. In 1965 Australian Championships women's tennis, Australian Margaret Smith wins 6th straight home singles title, beats Maria Bueno of Brazil 5-7, 6-4, 5-2. Bueno retired injured. Patterson vs. Chuvalo 1965. Former world heavyweight boxing champion Floyd Patterson beats Canadian George Chuvalo by unanimous decision in a 12-round non-title clash at New York's Madison Square Garden. The ring names Bout Fight of the Year. American Basketball Association 1967. The 10-team American Basketball Association ABV with George Mikan as commissioner is formed and lasts 9 years. Its three-point shot remains a feature of the game. Lombardi steps down 1968. Vince Lombardi steps down as NFL Green Bay Packers head coach in favor of longtime assistant Phil Benson. Stays on as Packers general manager for 1968. Petty S. Ford win 1969 in his first start in a Ford. Legendary driver Richard Petty wins the Motor Trend 500 at Riverside, California. Previous 92 NASCAR victories were in Plymouth. In 1969, Tim Wood wins second of 3 straight U.S. men's figure skating titles, whilst Janet Lynn takes first of her 5 consecutive women's national championships in Seattle. In 1970, former MLB Commissioner Ford Frick as well as ex-players Earl Combs and Jesse Haynes are elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Sawchuk's final victory 1970. Rangers goalie Terry Sawchuk records his 447th and final victory and 103rd career shutout when New York beats the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-0. Both are NHL records at the time. 1970 to 1972 NFL Draft. Walt Patulski from University of Notre Dame, first pick by Buffalo Bills. In 1973, outfielder Monte Irvin is elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Special Committee on the Negro Leagues, 4th inductee through the committee. 1976 62nd Rose Bowl. 11 UCLA beats 1 Ohio State, 23-10. In 1979, English international forward Trevor Francis becomes Britain's first $1 million soccer player when he transfers from Birmingham City to Nottingham Forest. 1981 31st NBA All-Star Game, Coliseum at Richfield, O East.